Hey cuties! Today we're trying something I have never tried before, so this is for all of us beginners, and it is called the grayscale to color technique. Even though I have done digital art for about like 5 to 6 years, kind of on and off, I've never tried this, so we're gonna try it together. First, I'm going to show you my sketch. If you want to just skip on over and get to the shading part, you can go ahead and do that. I will break this video up so that's easy for you to do. So we're gonna try this together and see if this is something a beginner can do. I do have a lot of practice with graphite, so I'm assuming I'll be able to do a good job for my first time, but I don't know, we'll see, because it's always different with digital art, and this is just practice, so yeah. I didn't watch a bunch of tutorials, which I think could definitely benefit you if you are trying to do this. I saw just a few shorts and like one video, but they were all on Procreate, and I don't have Procreate. I am a Photoshop user, so there are probably some things that might not translate, but we're gonna figure it out together. Yeah, so as I'm sketching, I just wanted to say I chose Shura from Blue Exorcist. I just started watching Blue Exorcist again. Yes, I have already seen it, but I basically forgot everything, and all I remember is that I really loved this anime. It was in my top animes, but sometimes I'll rewatch something and be like, oh wait, maybe that's not as good as I thought it was. But that's not the case with this one. I have been rewatching it and I have been loving it. And to top all of that, Season 3 just came out on the 6th this month, so let me know in the comments if you guys have already seen some of it. I'm pretty excited to get there, but yeah, so no spoilers. I'll be getting caught up soon, hopefully. So the first step in the grayscale process is to shade the entire piece with full scale of like all the values. So even though I'm pretty confident with graphite in the grayscale, I feel like this was still a challenge. I'm not sure if it was the style that I was trying to go for, like a semi-realism type of thing, or maybe it was the way I drew her in the sketch. I don't know. I haven't figured it out, but it was still pretty challenging. I started by dropping in like a base middle tone, so I know this is my middle tone here, and I'm going to add lights and my darks. I also chose the main light source is going to be just coming from the left side at like medium height, not too high or too low, just like kind of right in the middle, I guess. And I put the lightest values on the area that the light source would be hitting. Any areas that I felt the light source wouldn't be hitting at all, I went in and made them the darker values and made them even darker than I thought they would need to be, because I feel like you should be generous with your light lights and your darks, and that just gives the piece a bit more oomph, if that makes sense. For the shorts, I just started making them a darker shade because I am basing it off of, I know that these shorts are going to be a jean blue color, so they are just going to be in general darker than her skin tone, and what I have her skin tone at now is that middle gray, so I'm just going to start with a darker shade, and then for the creases and shadows on the shorts, something even darker. I ended up shading the skin without any reference, which is a pretty bad idea, and I feel that I may have left too many areas too light. I think there needed to be maybe a little bit more detail as well. However, again, you know, this is kind of just practice. We're just going with it, just testing the waters, basically. After this, I select the hair, and I'm trying to like piece out the hair to shade it so I can get a really good like 3D type of look. But I didn't like how it was turning out. It wasn't like how I expected it to, so I ended up deleting this and just kind of shading it all as one. Where I felt the light was hitting, just made that lighter, and the areas where the light isn't hitting, darker. So that would mean the hair probably behind her is darker, and the right side of her head is also going to be darker. All the pieces on the left side are going to be lighter because the lights are just coming from there and going to hit those probably way stronger than anything on the right side of her. Now I feel like that's good enough. I'm gonna go in and try to color. So I start by adding a new layer, and I change this layer to a color layer. Then I just choose a skin tone and brush right over it. And in my opinion, I think it's actually a great start. I started to connect the pieces and kind of see how this could be a really fast process and actually work really well. The skin tone does look pretty flat, kind of muddy, but I think with just like a few tweaks and maybe a few brush overs of some other colors, it could make it way better. But I still think it's a pretty good start. I then did the same for the shorts, just dropped in a blue color. That color came out pretty much where I need it to be, so I don't think I'll be messing with that too much. It's good enough for this trial. Now the hair is where the problem came in. No matter how dark I made the color, the hair was way too bright and way too pink. Yeah, so the way I fixed this is basically there's like a little pokeball at the bottom. This is where you have the contrast, brightness, hue, saturation type of filters. I basically played with these and kept adding them and taking them away until I got what I wanted. All I needed to use for the hair is the brightness one, and I just turned it down, and I pretty much got the shade of red that I needed. I also added a filter to the skin because I felt the skin was not the shade I needed it to be. I needed it lighter and a little more yellow pinkish undertone looking. And that is how I changed the skin. I also went over, I added just a normal layer on top and kind of took like red and just kind of went over like the shaded areas to give the skin more life. I felt like without editing the skin, it's very dull. It's not, yeah, it doesn't feel lively. So, but you know, still experimenting with the tools and stuff. I think this technique, I could see how it could be really great and be useful and speed up the process a lot once mastered. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Or if you've tried this before, or maybe you can give me tips to learn it faster, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.